All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the March monthly webinar / newsletter. Only this isn't a newsletter. This is a webinar because you can see me. That's exciting. Anyways, I want to kick this off. This is going to be a recurring meeting or webinar I'll send out monthly. I want to cover the release notes, a little bit more detail, talk about releases and deploys. If there's questions to this, please feel free to follow up with me by email. I'm happy to set up individual calls as needed. If I'm able to answer some questions through email, I will definitely do that. But if it does take a call, if we need to meet with administrators, faculty, to talk through the notes, I'm happy to do that. So let's go ahead and begin. I want to show you screen share here, the community page where I will cover the release notes and deploy notes. So you're always able to find this. I'll include the link here in the follow-up email or the email that will deliver the webinar to you. And if you're not in the community, first of all, I really highly encourage you to be in the community. Get involved, create your login information or create a profile so you're able to track things. You can bookmark, you can save links. This is all fluid, so things are always changing. We're always updating notes. So it's possible if you save it, or if you look at the notes and then you come back, a couple of days later, there may be some new updates to it. I'll try to keep those. I'll try to call those out as we see them. But if you're not familiar with release notes, they happen once a month. Okay, so our release is usually going to be about the middle part of the month. We about 30 days in advance of a release is the changes or the updates, enhancements will be in your beta instance. We do this so it gives you an opportunity to test anything. Releases, just a quick definition, releases are new enhancements, new features that do not already exist in Canvas, and they're being introduced by release. We're rolling that code out. Deploy notes happen twice a month. Deploys are typically updates, or maybe, like I like to say, updates, or what's the word I use? It's like tweaking something that already exists. So quizzes, for example, if there's something in quizzes, a big feature, and we just make a small change to it, not a large impact to that change, that's going to be a deploy because the feature already exists. Quizzes already exists. Release notes are going to be brand new features that don't already exist. Now, sometimes they may blend a little bit. You may see something and you're like, well, that doesn't really release. That's kind of a deployer that feels like, we already have that. This is kind of a small thing. Yeah, that happens occasionally. So we're going to look down here at our the one thing I get familiar with, if you're not familiar with release notes, if you're looking at them, the great thing about release notes is we put a little summary box on top of the note, and we will tell you who this impacts the most. If it has no impact for a particular audience or group, they won't be in that summary box. You'll see right here above this one. We're looking at developer keys, or a search and sorting option for developer keys. See that the note here is this is an administrative enhancement only. Beta environment, this has been available since the mid part of February. We roll this out on the 16th or mid-March. It's also going to tell you in the summary box if there's something you need to do to turn this on. And sometimes we roll things out, they just take place. That's a big reason why we want to keep track of releases. But sometimes with the release, we may give you the option to turn it on. So we'll see this. There is no location to enable it. This means this is just going to be part of the functionality once we roll it out. Name of the LTI tool, well, it's not an LTI, so that doesn't apply. Permissions, where does this fall into permissions? As an administrator, how would you use this? Well, it's a developer key, so that is the manage developer key permission. No related APIs, so nothing tying into data there. Affects user interface, yes, it does, but only, again, in an administrative way. And the affected areas are in developer keys. We have related ideas. So if the idea stemmed from a enhancement request from a school, we're going to link back to that. So you'll often see that in the related ideas section. Summary, what does it do? On the developer's key page, you can see you can now search and sort account developer keys. That's awesome. Something small, but might have a big impact. It's something that's been requested for a while. The change benefit will always tell you, like, how's this going to improve your life? Feature enhances the ease and efficiency of managing the developer keys page. That's simple, right? There you see the workflow. You'll see some screenshots of it. So basically showing up above there next to the sort or filter option, you have a search option now available. Awesome. So very cool. They're going to add a screencast at some point. Very cool. We're going to move on to the next one. We have Gradebook. There's always changes happening to Gradebook. I'm excited. There's been changes kind of pretty consistently here for the last year or so. This has also been in beta for some time, 221. This is going to be out in production on 316. You'll see this is just something we're rolling out into the Gradebook. Gradebook, instructors can choose multiple filter options for each filter type. Very cool. So what's the benefit here? We're just giving you a way to have more versatility, a little more flexibility in the way that you filter out in the Gradebook. So you see a feature workflow there below, streamlining the process of managing filter selections. It offers increased customization, and you'll be able to filter a little bit faster. Very cool. Screencast coming soon. You don't need it with me though. SpeedGrader, media, comment, screen capture, and auto captioning. This has been delayed as of 227. This means you may have seen it before in previous release notes. It was pushed back. It's now going to appear on the March release, March 16th. This is for instructors. So I always pay attention, a little bit more attention to those releases that have an impact for instructors or students. Should have a wider impact. This one won't be real big, but you'll want to make your instructors aware that SpeedGrader is going to see a change on that March release. The media recorder includes screen capture and captioning. So anything it's adding information or it's adding something they didn't have before, not a huge impact, but just something to make them aware of. You may jump in front of some questions that you might get. So change benefit, this just updates or enhances the clarity of instructor feedback. It'll also improve accessibility by giving that streamlined user experience. Image coming soon. We have not added images to the workflow. Feature options. All right, feature options. Let's just quick definition. Feature options in release notes often mean, or they do mean, not often, always mean that we're making an enhancement to something that's always being enhanced. It's kind of in a constant state of flux, and we are constantly updating it and making enhancements to it. So it's kind of like the bread's still baking, but you still want to use the benefits while it's baking because it smells so good. Let's look at new quizzes. Quiz and item analysis report, fill in the blank. You see instructors have an impact here. March release, take a look at the summary box. What's going to happen? Summary is the following data is added to the quiz and item analysis report. Fantastic. Fill in the blank answer, frequency summary, aggregation is now supported in the CSV file where it wasn't before. Again, we're adding something that you didn't have before. Good to get in front just in case you get questions, but overall, it's usually a good thing. You won't get many questions because we're adding something that they didn't have. So update provides additional information on that specific question type where it wasn't there before. Very cool. And there you go. That's your releases for March. That's exciting. Yeah. So again, I'm going to plan on doing this monthly. We'll send out a webinar. I may include some other information here. I'm going to add, we may from time to time, you may hear some messages from your account executive, who is Max Spencer, always working for you, always, available if you have questions, technical questions. If we need to demo something, if you're looking at something, you're thinking like, how does this fit? How could this help me? Max is going to be your guy. So he may have some messages here from time to time. And I'm also going to have Haley on the webinar. She will drop in to give us information about that might be pertinent about renewals, just general information. We might talk about timeline here, how it's good to be well in advance of the renewal to get those things moving. Early is always better in the renewals world. So that way we're not down to crunch time. So, and then we're talking about it all the time. If you have any questions, you have any concerns about renewal, if you have anything at all, just let me know. If you're not sure who to go to, Max, Haley, or I, go with me on the default and I'll make sure it gets to the right place. You can email me. I'll have my email included in the webinar, your information. Again, you can set up calls with me or you just reach out by email and we can work on things there. You may have noticed here for some schools, I'm slowly making my way through the list on as far as a call to connect with everyone. Still on my list, it's still part of my plans. I will be in contact with you about a specific call to kind of do personal introductions and get to know you a little bit more. So please be patient. If you need it sooner than later, email me and I can move it up, or we'll get it scheduled. But I'm making my way through that list of schools. Also, this is super exciting. We're going to be offering an office hours once a month. I'll make an announcement through email once a month, 1 hour a month. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's actually pretty cool. It'll be a Q&A. I may do them more. If it's successful and I'm feeling like it's moving things along and we're answering questions and you guys are being more effective with using Canvas and all of the other products, I may do it more if that's cool. One of them, I may just do an office hours where I just try out my comedy routine for about 30 minutes or so, 15 minutes to get feedback. 30 minutes plus 30, 60 minutes total. Anyways, this is going to happen. I'll send out information. You're welcome to pop in and out. I'm going to have themes for them though. So, we may focus on assessments 1 month. We may focus on LTIs 1 month. So I'll start with the theme. If you have questions about that theme, bring them. If you don't care about that theme, bring your questions anyways about whatever you want to bring, and we'll talk through them during office hours. They'll be available by state. So your institutions, the schools I work with in the state, those will be who you'll see on those calls. So we'll continue to do those calls as they're effective. And again, I'm always available. So please, reach out, email me, let me know. And I'm happy to continue working for you guys because that's what I enjoy, seeing you guys succeed with Canvas. So thank you very much for the webinar time today. Hopefully it was short and sweet. And if there's any questions at all about those release notes, deploy notes, please reach out. And we will talk to you again next month or sooner, probably. So, all right. Take care, guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the webinar again. This is a real quick an amend or an add-on to the March webinar. And I wanted to go through the deploy notes and then call attention to a couple other areas. With some of the recent changes we've announced with the regions, one of the things that's different for me is that I'm moving from being a Canvas specialist into all the other Instructure products. And so you'll see us really focusing more on Instructure, and you'll hear me talk about Instructure versus just Canvas alone. But I wanted to roll through the deploy notes for March. We have one deploy posted currently. To find the deploy notes, let's take you into the Canvas community. I'm going to talk a lot about the community. That's my main guide. And so if you see me going here a lot and using this in the webinars, the monthly webinars, then this is why. I mean, all my information comes from the community. So if I can be a guide and help you find the information you're looking for, that's one of my objectives. So I want to take us into Canvas. We can go into products, or we can go through the Canvas button here. We're going to go into Canvas LMS and cover the deploy notes for March. In my newsletter that'll be attached, that's attached to this webinar today, I'll also highlight some of the deploy notes or where to find those, just direct links into the deploy notes and the release notes as well. So here we are on the Canvas LMS page. If we click on release notes here towards the top of the page on the right, kind of a right tab, I like to go into view all release notes. You'll see them highlighted here. Viewing all will show me bullet points on the deploys and the releases, kind of summarizes everything for me. So without having to go into the detail, we did in the release notes webinar, we went into the most recent release, which is the upcoming March 16th release. So we went through those in depth. I'm going to cover just the 313 deploy notes for today. Remember, terminology, release notes, those are new enhancements, new features to Canvas. Our deploy notes are going to be bug fixes. We're going to fix things, known issues, and we're also going to roll out some modifications to existing functionality within Canvas. So there's only a few for our deploy notes for March 13th upcoming. Let's go into and take a look real quick. A little bit different. We still have a summary box to kind of give us impact. So who will kind of feel or see the most in these enhancements or these modifications. For most of the deploys, it's usually going to be an admin audience. Sometimes if there's an instructor audience, I might do a little more focus on whatever that modification is, because it may have a larger impact, may create some questions. So for the deploy notes for March 13th, we see Canvas Data 2 has had an update. It's been updated within the past 2 weeks. This is really just an update to the data access platform, the DAP, the CLI and client library version 1.0. You'll see links in here. When it comes to Canvas data APIs, custom reporting, things like that, I'm not your best resource. I do my best. A lot of it goes over my head. I can find the answer for you, but I'm probably not going to be the right person to ask real in-depth questions about APIs. But You'll see there the changes. Those are affecting admin only, so not a lot going along with that. Custom JavaScript for you designers and people that love to get into coding. It's not me again, but the update to jQuery, the version 2.2.4. That's what we've all been waiting for, right? I've been chewing my fingernails for weeks now. Here it is, version 2.2.4. I had 2.2.3 for a while, and everyone was kind of making fun of me. So now I'm updated. Those are some JavaScript jokes that I just made up. jQuery is updated from one. Oh, I'm sorry, I had 1.8.3. They make big jumps. Who knows why they do that? Some of you guys probably know why. But change benefit. This update can improves the commitment to uphold the highest standards as it relates to security. So security updates, patch updates. Reports, temporary enrollments. Those were added to our reporting analytics. They are now added to the provisioning report that you'll find within your settings. Admin only feature, of course, admins are the ones that can access those canned reports. Temporary enrollments now added to provisioning. So you'll see your column headers here. You'll find on the through the enrollment provisioning enrollment CSV. Rich content editor. This is for all users. Really small update, but this has been something I think it's come up a few times. So I think this is a great update. It may not be noticed unless you promote it or talk about it, but the right click. So right clicking on media and the rich content editor options to download media, open media in a new tab, and copy media now are removed. Addresses are removed from the menu. So this enhances security of overall of Canvas media. So this is a good update overall, and you'll find simple update, but you'll find the notes here in the deploy. There we go. That's the deploy notes that I wanted to amend onto our call for today. Again, let me know if there's any questions. Also want to highlight real quickly, I'm going to go through these in the future, not so much today as we kind of introduced the webinar, but I do want to talk about in the future, we will focus on some of the other release notes from other Instructure products because they are going to tie into Canvas. We do have integration. There'll be some included or native functionality that's being baked into Canvas. That's what we'll kind of focus on, but there's also some premium or kind of step up to additional services or additional product in all of these areas, but you'll find them. Wanted to call them out here underneath products of the Canvas community, or just the Instructure community, sorry. Underneath Canvas, you'll find Studio has its own updates. Catalog also has its own release notes and updates. Credentials, especially, another area to take a look at. We'll start to focus a little bit more on pathways as an option as we talk about updates that are being done to outcomes and rubrics within Canvas. Then I want to take you over to the far right and show you impact. Very much like Canvas, you'll find a release notes area for impact. So here we are on the impact page. Looks very similar to what we saw before. Release notes here. Down below, you can view all, or you'll see just kind of the most recent or pertinent note, which is from March 5th. That's yesterday. So keep an eye on that stuff. If you are interested, you want to know more about impact, you want to know more about credentials, Studio, Catalog, where are those products at? How there's been lots of updates. So your experience with them before, if you have experience, may be different, may have changed. So same for these areas. If we go into Studio Catalog, I'm going to pull up credentials real quick. Notice it'll be underneath the Canvas label. There's credentials, has its own homepage as well. Down below, you'll find credentials. These major products, they're going to have their own roadmap. So it's good to check out. You also have that release notes tab again, should look familiar. Most recent updates here to credentials would be from the end of February, so also pretty recent. You'll notice the release notes there. You want to go in and take a look at those, click on those. You'll have a similar summary page to Canvas talking about the benefit, who the change or enhancement impacts. But lots of cool stuff coming. Keep an eye on that. If, again, there's questions about that kind of stuff in the future, I'll do a little bit more deep dive into these areas in the webinars. That'll be the purpose of the webinars, is to kind of give that information all at one time, and then follow-ups can occur after the webinar through email. Let me know if we need to answer questions through email. We need to set up any additional calls. We can do that with Max Spencer, our account executive. We can bring him on the call if we want to demo any particular products or services. We're always happy to do that. So keep that in mind. That is the end of the deploy portion of the webinar. So thanks for joining us again this month, March. We'll have another webinar in April where we are going to cover big stuff releases and deploys and more products. And we'll also have our office hours. I'll be posting that soon. I'll give you, I may do it on a Thursday or a Friday, I don't know, end of the week. feels kind of right. We'll make it fun. Maybe bring some music in. I don't know. I'll DJ a little bit. Anyways, that's it. Just have a little fun here because it's Wednesday. So thanks guys for attending. We'll see you next time.